Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bulletproof Beauty, and today I'm going to tell you about my worst date ever. Before we get started, I did this really simple Valentine's Day look with the Sipping Pretty palette by Kylie. I used it to make a fun transition video, which is on my TikTok. I'll link that below if you're interested in that. But happy Valentine's Day. So I got this super cute Colorado Avalanche beanie from my boyfriend Josh, and he knows that I'm a huge hockey fan. It really bums me out that we can't go to games right now, but it's nice and toasty, which is nice because it's 11 degrees in my house today. Colorado is incredibly cold. For Valentine's Day, he also got me two books. This is In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware, and this one is 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. I am a fan of murder mysteries. So all year for the rest of the year, my goal is to read 2 books a month. My Instagram will be linked below. If you head over to my highlights, I will have one called Book Club, and you can follow along with the books that I'm reading there. I'm currently reading this book, The Edge of Lost by Christina McMorris. I'm only on page 27, and so I'm a little behind on my goal this month, but we'll get there. Otherwise, let's just get to the story. I'm not a super animated person. I really loved story times on YouTube when they were super popular, so maybe I'm trying to live vicariously through that really old trend, but I thought that this story was really great. I love telling it for its shock value. Was hands down one of the worst nights of my life, but in honor of Valentine's Day, this is my worst day ever. Okay, so a long time ago, I was on Tinder, and I met this gentleman, and I don't care if you know his name. His name was Bo. I don't know his last name, and maybe that was part of the problem. He was very nice. I was very excited to meet him. We started talking. I had this rule about dating on Tinder, and basically that rule was that I would never go meet someone alone. I was overly precautious about the way that I went and met people. I happened to already be going out with friends one evening and said, hey, why don't you come meet us at this bar, back when you can do that. He agreed, so I went to the bar with my friends, and he met up with us later, introduced himself to me. He was tall, handsome, very nice. He loved my friends. We had a great night. There was no inkling whatsoever that this man was psychotic. 2 of my really great friends, Sean and Amber Lynn, were there. You guys might recognize them from previous videos. Sean and Amber Lynn both gave him the thumbs up. Things were going well, and at the end of the night, we decided to go back to my apartment. When we got there, again, everything was fine. We laid down in my bedroom to watch a movie. I didn't have a TV at the time, so I had picked a movie on my iPad mini, and I set it in between us. At that point in time, my friend Sean sent me a text. He wanted to know if I had made it home okay, and I reached over to grab my phone and reply to his text, hey, yeah, we just got here. At that point in time, this man stands up, grabs my phone out of my hand, slams it on my dresser, and starts screaming at me. I was like, whoa, what's the problem? What's going on? I don't, like, what? I almost panicked a little bit. At this point in time, I also lived with my sister and her 2 sons, and so I was worried. They were infants at the time. He was yelling and he was gonna wake them up. I was like in utter panic. So I was like, can you like stop yelling for 10 seconds? Just stop yelling. Turns out that he had seen that I had gotten a text from another man, and that's really what set him off. He started screaming profanities. I can't believe you're texting another guy while I'm here. I was like, calm down, it's just my friend, the friend that you just met. He wanted to make sure I got home okay. He's like, you're such a slut, you're a whore. I can't believe this, you wasted all my time, blah, blah, blah. And so he's just like screaming and going berserk. Granted, at the time, I was very scared. Looking back, I am more annoyed than anything, but in the moment I was scared. So I just asked him to get his stuff and go. If he wasn't happy, just get your stuff and go. It's fine, dude, it's fine. And then he started screaming at me that he was trying to find his socks and that he needed to get his shoes. And I was like, okay, get your stuff, it's fine, just stop yelling. And I went out in the living room and I sat down on the couch and I was just waiting for him to leave. At some point in time, he must have gathered all of his stuff because he started walking from my bedroom out the front door. The entire time he was screaming, "You're a slut, you're a slut." And again, I was like, yo, my sister is sleeping, so are her kids. And he was like, your sister's a whore, your sister's a slut. And like over and over and over. And I was like, I get it, you think that I'm gross, just get out of my house. And then he slammed the door on his way out. It's a very anticlimactic story, but I realized after he left, one, that he had broken my front door. So I was like, okay, cool. Now I can't even lock my front door. And I didn't live in a great area at the time, so that wasn't super enthralling. I went to bed, decided that I needed to deal with it the next morning, and when I got up, I couldn't find my iPad. This man had stolen my iPad. So he stole my iPad, he broke my front door, and then the next morning my sister walked out of her bedroom like, what the hell is going on? So I had to explain to her that this gentleman who I had brought home was not a gentleman at all. On top of him stealing my iPad, breaking my front door, and spewing profanities into the night, I received hundreds, I'm not kidding, hundreds of phone calls that night, just calling over and over and over and over and over, at which point I blocked him. I did find out later that he left a voicemail, and the voicemail was weird. He said something along the lines of, what you did wasn't cool, I can't believe you're talking to other guys, you're such a slut, but I can look the other way and we can try again. I'm glad that I didn't get it till later, or I probably would have blown a gasket. He had been blowing up my phone with texts, and when he realized he couldn't get through to my phone, he went back to Tinder and he started blowing me up on Tinder, telling me what a whore I was. When he could no longer get to me on Tinder, he found my Instagram and my Facebook, and thus began the week of blocking. It took me an entire week to get this person out of my DMs, to just stop telling me what a whore I was. At some point in time, I did decide to try and call the police and let them know I had stolen property. They'd damaged our front door. The hard part was that I didn't know this person's last name. I had a phone number, and I had their first name, and I had an approximate age. They were able to look him up, and much to my surprise, he had been arrested before for domestic violence. Dodged a bullet on that there, buddy. He also had a record of petty theft, bar fights. He really was not a good person. Unfortunately, at that point in time, there was nothing they can do. We had no sort of evidence that this person had actually stolen anything from me. So at the end of the day, really all they could do was take a report about the harassment and told me that if he tried to contact me later, to give them a call. So that was it. That was my worst day ever. It was a very short story. I'm sorry if it wasn't very entertaining. It was very entertaining for me to look back at. But if you're going on a date this Valentine's Day with someone you don't know, find out their last name, make sure you have their phone number, and don't take them back to your house. The biggest lesson that I took from this was that strangers should never, ever, ever know where you live. And of course they tell us that when we're children, but when we're drunken adults, do we ever really listen? No. From that point forward, it was a precaution that I took all the time, and I'm glad that I did, because this incident really could have ruined my life. I'm lucky that it stopped at a broken door and a stolen iPad, as opposed to, I don't know, being murdered or assaulted or any number of bad things that could happen. So from here, I thought we might take a second to discuss the elephant in the room. Obviously, this story does have a humor component, but there's a lot of seriousness to it. Domestic violence and assaults are things that women experience all the time. You know the statistics. My story here today is supposed to serve as some sort of entertainment. Please know that if you're going through something that is similar or much more serious, there are resources, and I've linked them down for you below. At the end of the day, let's just all laugh about the fact that I got an iPad stolen on a first date. The choices that I were making at the time, not supreme. I'm really glad now that I'm in a loving, committed relationship with a man that I adore, and that I will never ever have to return to Tinder again. But to all of my ladies who are still braving the wasteland that is those dating apps, good luck. I salute you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Tell me your worst dating story. But I thank you all for coming. I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day, and I will see you next time.